Okay, this little video is going to be about when the Fool, on his journey through the major trumps, meets the Strength card. And if you remember before, the last one was the Fool and the Wheel of Fortune, and at that point I said that in some way the Wheel of Fortune represents life, because you have ups and downs as you go around the wheel, and in life you have ups and downs as well. And we can also consider that sometimes in life things go with you and other times conditions go against you, or you can choose to go with the flow of circumstances, or you can decide that you're going to go against the flow, and you may have a good reason for doing that. So at this point I'd like you to pause for a moment, like press the pause button on the screen and think about what life is about. You know, if a 5-year-old, a child or a nephew or niece or a little person that you know asks you, what is life all about? Why am I here? What kind of answer would you give? And how would you characterize and describe life on earth? And I have a reason for asking that, as you'll see after the pause. So assuming that you've thought about the answer. Thing is, this is number 10, the Wheel of Fortune is number 10, and in the Rider deck, the 11th card is Justice. And so, when you're describing life, let's say life is characterized by this card, the Justice card. And so, life is harsh, even though this person looks clean and comfortable. Somehow life is harsh. And it can be dangerous because there's a sword here as well. And maybe there's hidden bits that we really can't know because there's a curtain behind. So life is a mystery as much as anything else. It's dangerous, it's harsh. There's a chance of punishment, you know, because it's justice in the law. And maybe with this card there's an underlying current of the need for obedience, you know, because there are laws and you've got to obey the laws. And if you don't obey the laws and you get caught, you're in trouble. So maybe with the Justice card there's a certain amount of trying to keep beneath the radar, or trying to remain hidden so that the bad stuff that you do doesn't get noticed and you don't have to pay the price. So you could say that the Fool is going to, once he's in life, he's going to have to deal with justice, or the kind of conditions that justice represents. Or you may have chosen something that harmonizes better with the Strength card. Because this card, what is life about? Maybe life is about peace and tranquility and non-violence. And recently I've been watching a TV show called The Dog Whisperer. And it's about this fellow, Cesar Millan, who people have problem dogs, and he goes and visits them and shows them how to be the pack leader. Because dogs understand that, and they know their place in the pack. And if the human isn't willing or able, or doesn't know any better than the need to be the pack leader, then if, let's say you approach a dog and you're nervous, or you're angry, or you're too strict with the dog will react to that kind of treatment. And so Caesar's point is, before you deal with the dog, get your own harmony and balance and be comfortable and know what you're going to do, have an idea of what you're going to do, so that then when you approach the dog, you are the pack leader, and the dog recognizes this and treats you accordingly and behaves accordingly. So somehow the strength that's shown in this card is Caesar, the woman in white, controlling the lion, closing the lion's mouth so that it's not as dangerous as it would have been if it were going to roar and bite. So if we look at this, we've got a lion, and lions represent pride, because lion is Leo, and Leo's problem is pride. And so pride can be a good thing if it's taking pride in work, pride in doing a job well. But this kind of pride that's being controlled is more like ego and stubbornness, that you know you're wrong, but you're going to dig in your heels anyway just because you're annoyed. And that's the kind of pride that is being controlled by the purity and the innocence and the harmony of the woman in white. So maybe the Fool, since we're doing the Fool's journey, maybe the Fool asks the Strength card, okay, I'm in life, what am I going to do? How am I going to make it? And the answer can be, because of the white and the lion, the white representing purity, maybe the strength card says to him, in order to make it in life, it's not physical strength that's going to help you. It's maybe emotional or moral strength, and it's love. So it's attitude and not muscles that determines whether you're strong or weak. So for instance, let's say that the Fool wants to know how to solve a problem, or let's say one of your questioners wants to know how to solve a problem and the strength card comes up. So what you do is you act from a position of strength rather than from one of weakness. Because I'm sure we've all said at some time, I knew I was going to fail that exam, or I knew I wasn't going to get that job. And so when you go into a situation like that, already defeated, already having decided that you're too weak, that you're not good enough, you haven't got the ability, it's not going to work. When you go in knowing that or believing it, then you tend to get the result that you expected. So, on the other hand, if we take the strength card as our guide, if we make a list of our strong points or our abilities or what we have going for us and build on that, then we've got a certain amount of power and we're going to be able to make a difference. And so depending on what the question is and who the questioner is, no matter what the situation, there's always something good within it or something that you can build on that will make you stronger or better. So let's say you want a job and maybe you don't have good enough qualifications. So the thing is, you've got some qualifications, make them better. So look at this, look for what the strengths are. And the other thing is, write a list, because there's something about writing things down. If you write down a list of what you want or what you're going to do or what you want to do, you've got a greater chance of it actually happening than if you just think about it. So there is something about writing down or making a written list of what it is that you want to do. People talking about failing and not doing well. I was reminded of a joke that I wanted to tell you. And there's a fellow who goes to the doctor and he lifts up his elbow and says to the doctor, "Doctor, it hurts when I do that." And the doctor's reply is, "Don't do that." Which I thought was very witty once upon a time. So the point I want to make is, if something is painful, if it's not working, don't keep doing it. Do something different, do something else. So, if we think about and concentrate on and in some way increase our strengths or the good points, the strong points that we've got going for us, then we've got a better chance of making a difference or improving. And somehow this card is about love. And I know we may have dealt with love in the Lovers card in number 6, but in the Lovers it's like one-on-one or loving somebody or loving another person. This is more like impersonal, loving everybody. So it's a bit like the Strength card is being loving and being kind and being considerate. That kind of thing, rather than focusing on one individual to love. Because somehow it's a bit like love is stronger than hate and light is stronger than darkness. And if you've ever been in a really dark room and you strike a match, you understand that a little bit of light can overcome a huge amount of darkness. In the same way that a little bit of love will overcome a lot of hate or a lot of depression or a lot of anxiety or a lot of fear. So that's something about the Strength card. Next is going to be the Fool meeting the Wheel of Fortune. But I wanted to mention first that I've begun putting together a tarot course. And in a couple of days I'll post the first section. And but the thing is, it's a short video, but I'm going to make suggestions about exercise that can be done, let's say. And there's going to be a PDF version, and I can't give you that through YouTube, but it will be downloadable from the tarot.ca. And so I'm thinking that everything is going to be at the tarot site, and I'll post all the videos and all the PDFs there. And I'm thinking at the moment that I may not put everything here on YouTube, so you might want to go and take a look at the tarot.ca from time to time. But that's it. That's the Fool meets Strength. And next we deal with the Hanged Man.